Otherwise, you are not going to grow together. But it's possible, and I think there is a lot of potential in what I do. Since we're talking about trauma, especially for childhood trauma,
Mm-hmm.
because it's true that you can go to psychologists, psychiatrists, and they can do wonders. They can help you a lot, but there is nothing such as having a supporting and safe family environment to let these things out. Because many times to uh, let go of trauma or stress that has stayed in our body for so long,
Mm-hmm.
we need to talk with the person with whom we have a problem with.
Right.
And if we can find a way, if we can find a method to do that safely
Mm-hmm.
and at a time, at a pace in which we are comfortable with,
Right.
then we can really do wonders together.
True. Yeah, this is amazing because, and I'm sitting here thinking this is something that can be done in really any relationship. But in this case, we are talking about your family, and that is, that's your foundation. And ideally, if you can start there, absolutely. And I was just imagining it as you create that safe space for one another where you're allowed to speak in your own time, say what you want to say in a safe environment, that once you start understanding one another, how so much of the stuff that was hurting you just kind of goes away because it doesn't become important anymore. Because now you're getting to the root of everything and you're understanding one another. And really, you didn't say it, and I've said it so many times on my podcast, but what you're doing is rather than going into these family reunions with judgment, right, and pain, which you're going to bring that to the table, but come to it with curiosity, which is exactly what you're talking about, and ask questions when you see, because on the other side of someone who's been in trauma and someone who hasn't been in trauma, the person who hasn't been in trauma, when they're watching someone trigger and they don't understand it, it's kind of scary because our trigger takes us so over the top and doesn't match what's going on in the moment that it's kind of frightening to the other side. But if we can give that person space and give, including the person that's sitting there watching this and not understanding, if they can give space and time, you are going to be able to work through this, and you're going to give that person that safe space where they're finally going to be able to say what they're trying to say so the other side can understand. And you're right, getting to the root of the problem takes away all the symptoms. I call them symptoms. So when we get hurt or something happens to us, we react and there's all these symptoms, these behaviors that show up. But when you get to that root, that takes away all those behaviors. And all of a sudden, it's not important to rehash everything in detail. It's more important to get to the root of it and go, oh, I understand. That's why you acted that way. I was wondering, it just didn't seem like that's the way you should have. I was wondering, okay, I got it now. And all of a sudden, all that crap, for lack of a better word, is not even important anymore.
Mm.
And you see that person in a new light. And that is where the healing begins. It gets to that essence of healing.
Right, you are very right. Um, you change perspective and you see things in a new light, and everything is completely different. You
Completely.
let go of all of your judgments, of
Hmm.
all the resentment, and that's extremely important. And what one of the main things that I suggest to my clients, the people that I worked with, to my family members, is very similar to what you just said, to enter the discussion with curiosity. What I stress usually is the fact that we need to let go of our need to be right,
Yes. I had to
and
let
we
go of that
need
a long time ago. That was hard.
and we needed to make a choice.